how to compute one variable statistics using a TI-84 that has one of the newer operating systems. So I've got a list of data here. I'm going to start by entering those into the calculator. To do that, I go to Stat, so I hit my Stat button. I'm going to choose Edit, which is already chosen for me, so I hit Enter. And then I want to go ahead and put these values into L1. You'll notice that my calculator already has values in L1. To clear those, I'm going to use my up arrow to get up to the list names, and then over to the left to select L1. All the data values are here at the bottom. If I hit the clear button, which is here, I hit clear, everything's gone from the bottom, but not from the table, so I hit enter after that. So clear and enter. Now I'm ready to enter my data values. I have 3, I'm hitting enter after each data value, 4, 4, 4, 1, 5, 1, 7, 1, 11, and 2 12s. So I've got my values entered. Now I want to go back to the home screen. To go back to the home screen, you hit second quit. I want to compute now one variable statistics, so I go into Stat, not Edit but Calc this time, so I arrow over to Calc. One variable statistics is highlighted, so I hit Enter. And in this version of the operating system, it prompts me for where my list is. My list, which is my data values, is in L1, so I go ahead and leave it in L1. If you needed to change it, you would use one of these list names. Notice how key number 1 has L1, and then L2 is on 2, and L3 is on 3 in blue right above those keys. If you wanted to change it, you'd hit the second button, followed by wherever your list was, say L2, so I'd hit number 2. Mine isn't though, so let me arrow back to the L, and I want L1, so second L1. You may not even need to change that. Frequency list. I didn't use a frequency list, I just typed in each of my values one time, so I'm going to arrow down, and I'm going to clear that. So I hit the clear button, and then I'm ready to calculate. So I highlight calculate, and I hit enter. It does everything. It gives me the mean, adds my values, it adds their squares. This is S, which is my sample standard deviation. That has an unbiased estimator of it, of n-1 in it. Sigma is my population standard deviation, just depends on how you're treating your data. There are 10 data values, and if I keep arrowing down, it gives me the minimum. It gives me the quartile, which cuts off the first 25%. The median, which cuts off 50%, so half and half. Quartile 3, which cuts off 75% of the data. And then finally the maximum value. So I can go ahead and compute one variable statistics using the list as is. If I wanted to use a frequency list on this, I certainly could. I'm going to rewrite my X list using only the data values one time. So I've got 3s, I have 4s, I have 5s, I have 7s, I have 11s, and I have 12s. And I'm going to put their frequency right next to it. Let's see, for 3s, I've got 2 3s. 4s, I have 1, 2, 3 4s. 5s, I have 1. 7, I have 1. 11, I have 1. And 12, I have 2 of those. So I'm going to re-enter my data, but this time I'm going to use L1 for my data, which I did before, but now just one time each. And then I'm going to put my frequency into L2. I'm on the home screen. I need to get into Stat. So right from here, I just hit Stat. I want to edit, and edit's already selected, edit my table, so I hit enter. And I want to change what's in L1. I'm just going to clear the whole thing and start over. So I'm going to arrow up to the L1 name. My values are at the bottom, so I hit clear, and then enter to clear it from the table. I'm at the top now, I'm ready to enter my values. 3, enter, 4, 5, 7, 11, and 12. And now I want my frequencies in L2. Well, there are already values in L2, so I'm going to clear that as well. So I arrow up to the top, I hit clear and enter. Yours might be empty, but mine wasn't. So now I'm ready. I've got 2 of the 3s, 3 of the 4s, 1 5, 1 7, 1 11, and 2 12s. So now I've got data and frequencies. Let's go back and compute one variable statistics. Second quit, Stat to get to the Calc menu, arrow over to Calc. I'm doing one variable statistics, so you hit enter. My data is still in L1, so that's good. Frequency list, I did use a frequency list this time, it's L2. So I'm going to grab L2 off of number 2. So second, 2, I arrow down to calculate, and I hit enter, and there's all my same values. So I got 6.5 for the mean, sample standard deviation, population standard deviation, and I arrow down to get the same things. If your screen, when you do, let me quit here, and I'm going to go Stat, Calc, One Variable Statistics. If you don't get this screen when you're doing One Variable Statistics, that means that you have the earlier version of the operating system, and you can check my other video. That will show you how to do that one. Good luck!